Now, when I began writing the book on the domestic life of the Messiah, I had to arrive at a concept that established the premise for my explanation of the domestic life, being guided by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So in my books, I define the domestic life as follows. In one sense, the domestic life involves the Messiah's polygamous marriage. Most profoundly, however, the domestic life encompasses the protection, reformation, and elevation of women through divine knowledge and governance. This universal governance features the leadership of women with the Messiah in establishing the everlasting kingdom of God. That's what I derive conceptually about the domestic life. Now, this description is also affirmed in the Holy Quran, which we'll get to in a little bit. Well, one of my foremost aims regarding this subject was to reinforce, and is, the concept of the domestic life. Meaning that when we approach the marital lives of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, which is born of the Messianic prophecies, I hope you hear me, then we have to have the proper basis for our perception. You can't perceive it, obviously, like you would just anybody anywhere with a wife, or even in the Muslim world with more than one wife. It can't be that trifling. How can it be when we're looking at the fulfillment of the Messianic prophecies? So the basis must be and is the domestic life. To discuss their lives outside of this context is a big mistake and even an error. Why? Now, I'm just giving you ammunition for the epic attack that's approaching us. But you have to have the right concept of how you perceive the Messiah, his work, and all that comes with that, including his domestic life. Well, in the Holy Quran, the believers are charged with being trifling in matters related to the Messiah's domestic life. You can read it for yourself. It's in several places in the Holy Quran, and we covered that already. Well, these people repeat the deceptive concepts of their enemies, even when they're trying to defend it. So in the supreme wisdom lessons given to us by Master Fard Muhammad through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the original rules of instructions given to the laborers, it states, the laborers are liable for punishment if found using baby language at any time. This backs up what I said in my previous message. You go about running your mouth in a trifling way. When this attack comes, then God will hold you responsible for your words. It's right here. The laborers are liable for punishment if found using baby language in caps at any time. So this phrase, baby language, is referring to the synagogue of Satan, a 6,000-year-old baby whose power to rule is based on the use of deceptive or deceitful language. So when you attempt to represent or defend a position from the false concepts and terminology of our mortal enemies, then they are in control and you're not. The language of the original people of the Western Hemisphere must be the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.